I don't know where January went, but it is almost February, which means I need to give you guys a heads up on what shows are premiering that need to be on your radar. Up first on Netflix is season 4 of Lincoln Lawyer. This is premiering February 5th, and like I said, it's Netflix, which means the whole thing will be released at once. The overall synopsis of the show follows this lawyer named Mickey. He inherits his law firm from a colleague of his who died. He was murdered. He also is a recovering addict and had a really traumatic surfing incident. He also has 2 ex-wives. The first is Neve Campbell, and then the second ex-wife is, I forget her name, but the blonde girl on Ugly Betty. He's a defense attorney, and he represents really powerful, sometimes not the most above board clients, which then puts him in a lot of murky and not the safest of situations. On February 10th on Hulu, season 2 of The Artful Dodger premieres. This show first came on my radar because I'm a really big Maya Mitchell fan. We didn't know this going into the show also, but the man who plays Lupin in all of the Harry Potter movies is in this show as well. It's supposed to be a sequel to Oliver Twist, but it's not important to the story. It's just that's the foundation of the show. The main character, Jack, is a surgeon. He was in the Navy, and now he's in Australia, just working at a local practice. This is set, though, in the late 1800s, so keep that in mind when picturing everything. He's always trying to look and learn, what's the new cutting-edge technique, and he also is a pickpocketer, a very good one. And his uncle, who's an even bigger pickpocketer, is played by the man who played Lupin in the Harry Potter movies. And then Maya Mitchell's character is the daughter of the mayor, government official, something big wig. She's a woman of noble birth. So her family's just focused on how they can marry her off into who. All she wants in life is to be a surgeon, which they obviously think is crazy because a woman working, no. She ends up becoming a secret apprentice of his, and they start doing these really cutting edge surgeries, but they have to do them in secret, not only because of her, but because he is third in command at the hospital. Obviously, there's undercurrents of a romantic nature between the two of them, but then also it deals with the thievery that Jack and his uncle get up to. On February 14th, we have Ryan Murphy's newest installment of his American stories. There's horror, sports, and now this is American Love Story. This one is going to be following John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. I'm also a girl from Massachusetts, so love the Kennedys. And it's Ryan Murphy, so I didn't even have to look it up to know that it's going to be on FX and Hulu. On February 18th on Prime is a new series premiere called 56 Days. This is another psychological thriller that, we've all been loving lately, but with a love story underneath it. There's a murder 56 days after the two of them meet, and the body is found in his apartment. It looks like a very intense show. On February 20th on Apple, we're getting season 2 of The Last Thing You Told Me, and up until this very moment, I just thought that the show was making up their own story, but it looks like there was a sequel to the book released 3 weeks ago, so maybe they worked in tandem. It's 5 years after the original disappearance of Jamie Lannister, forget his name on the show, but he comes back, and so it's dealing with all the shit that he stirred up by disappearing. On February 23rd, season 2 of Paradise comes out. This is on Hulu, and unless you live under a rock, you've heard of this show, I am excited because Shailene Woodley is joining the cast, and I am a huge fan of hers. And the last one, which you definitely live under a rock if you don't know what this show is, but Bridgerton season 4 part 2 premieres on February 26th. So we're getting part 1 any day now, and then part 2 wrapping up the story will be in February. I'm excited. Between January and February, we are being served. So as always, if there's a show that you're excited about that's not on my list, let me know, because up until yesterday, 56 Days wasn't there. You guys told me about it. And 2 months ago, Pluribus wasn't on my radar. So I'm always looking.